Do's and don'ts seems, I don't know, kind of bossy, pushy. Not me. I'm going to do yays and nays. Yays and nays, okay? So, whether it's a new job or your first job, this should be something good to think about, a refresher, just a way for you to get along with others and to really make yourself shine, stand out, and propel you towards your ultimate position and ultimate success. So I have 4 yays, 4 nays, and I have my little prop here. So here you go on what they are. We have 4 and 4. We had a little technical difficulty. Don't look down here. But anyway, so number 1, be on time. Go early, stay late. What are the rules for your particular employer? Is it a place that is open to the public? What are the hours for the public? What are the hours for people who have to be there to prep? If you're in an office situation, what are the hours assigned to you? Are you working for the East Coast, the Central, Pacific, Mountain, overseas? Does your job correlate to people in a particular time zone that you need to be sensitive to, either on a particular project or overall? What about the boss? When is the boss there? When are you likely to receive your assignments? How will they be assigned? Is it electronic? Is it in person? Are there meetings, etc.? Find out, all right? Find out. At least for the beginning, until you are moved into the position and have things under control, know the flow of things, do above and beyond. Do a little bit extra. Most positions require some type of assimilation, some type of introductory period. In a first job, it may be training. It may just be how to operate in that particular type of work environment. We're hoping through these videos to help give you a leg up on some of those trouble spots, but there's still going to be areas that you have to learn and things that you have to get a grip on and become proficient at. So that's going to take a little bit of your time. You should not expect that everything you do in your job is going to happen within the confines of the particular assigned hours. People who want to get ahead and who do get ahead show initiative, they show diligence, and they show effort. And one of the easiest ways, what do they say? 90% or 80% of life is showing up. So be there, be reliable, be available. Just a really easy, basic thing to do, okay? Very easy. That's your first yay. First nay, it's a big one. I went right from the easy right to the hard one. Mixing business with social life. Oh, we spend a lot of time at work. We have friends. We've developed good friendships over a period of time. Some people even meet their spouse there. Hopefully that's not what you're getting into this job for. You're getting into this job to make an honest wage, to help your family, to help yourself, to grow, to apply your talents, not to find a spouse, not to find a partner, not to find somebody to mess around with, and also not to necessarily find your best friend. That may happen. Any of those things may happen over time, but it should not be the goal. The reason I say this is because you are there to work, especially at the beginning. You want a good impression. People don't know you. They don't know what you're all about. They don't know your history. A few people will know your history, either your work or school history, because they interviewed you, they checked you out, the HR, etc. But there's a whole host of people, they don't know you from Adam. That's good and bad. If you're changing jobs and you've been working in an industry or you're changing industries, this is an opportunity to start fresh. Don't bring baggage. Don't create baggage. Create good habits for yourself. Create a good reputation for yourself. Keep to yourself a little bit at the beginning. Watch, listen, learn, and don't overshare. You're not there to gossip. People can be labeled very quickly for all types of distracting and detracting types of behavior. It's so much easier to go in and not do that. Once you fall into one of those assigned categories or stereotype, it can be difficult to come back out of it. So just avoid it altogether. And if something should happen on a romantic front, do yourself and everybody else a favor. Somebody change jobs. Be discreet. Somebody change jobs. Don't affect either person's job history, relationships, etc. Take the high road. Make your necessary adjustments and move on. As far as good friends in the workplace, if you do make good friends, that friendship should primarily be outside. Not to say that you shouldn't be pleasant, that you might be interested in other people, aware of things going on, pregnancies, new babies, graduations, something that happens to somebody. We're all people. But keep it on a professional level. You'll do them a favor. You'll do yourself a favor. It'll just be a lot cleaner and a lot easier. If you do socialize outside of work, keep it outside of work. All right, now back to a yay. Be diligent. Get your work done. Keep your eyes on your own paper, just like your third grade teacher said. Ask for help if you need it. Raise your hand, but become reliable. You want them to depend on you to get this task done. You want to be a self-starter, a self-motivator, someone who maintains order in what they're doing, that can address and meet a deadline, that can under-promise and over-perform. A gentleman I worked with years ago was coming into the private practice from a governmental type job, and it was obviously a different type of work situation, a different type of workflow. In my primary business, we are driven, it's deadline driven. Something comes in, there's automatically another date. Now, that's when you're the one on the top of the pile in charge of a particular project or case. But the other people starting out might not understand that. Regardless of your industry, if you have been given a deadline, is that the ultimate deadline, or is there a bigger deadline? Are you a piece in an overall bigger picture? It shouldn't matter to you because you've been given a deadline. You should adhere to that deadline. But if you run into trouble, raise your hand, contact that person way sooner than later. No one should ever come after you saying, Michelle, where is that? Where is that done yet? What's going on here? Be proactive. Communicate. If you need more material or something to help you get the job done, find out where is the source for that. Who do you ask? And while you're practicing your diligence, complete your assignments. Do not hand things in half-assed. Do it. If there's some reason that you can't, get the tools, get the help so that you can. Okay? And that was a good one. That was a yay. Be diligent. All right? Nay. Suck up. Oh, please don't do this. I'll be so disappointed in you. Please don't suck up. Brown nose. Try to get brownie points. Do your work. You want to be judged on your merits, on your personality, on your willingness to work, on your team spirit, and not on your ability to give ridiculous comments or unnecessarily maneuvering your way in. And it can backfire. Well, it can backfire in so many ways. It's not very becoming, and you're not tricking anyone. People are aware. Someone maybe succumb to unnecessary flattery or heaps of flattery, and okay, but is that what you're going to stay in that job and just dish out compliments all the time? I don't think so. There's an old show, Leave It to Beaver, on reruns, or even in black and white, and there was an Eddie Haskell character. Hi, Mrs. Cleaver, you look so pretty today. You look, what do you want? Be real, okay? Just be real. And, furthermore, there was a guy I worked with who actually was really hilarious, and but he had an entry-level job, like an internship type job, and ran around and wanted to be the fun guy and everything. Well, he did succeed. I don't think this is the way to go, but he did succeed in getting hired on. But guess what? He never did any work. So now he was not as advanced as the other people in his class or group that was hired. Why? People are not stupid. And they know that, he was humorous, he was entertaining. But what did he do? He kept himself a couple of rungs lower on the ladder because you have to get in and do the work. And that's how you advance. So you really, do what you want, but that's not a good way to get ahead. And it's not a good way to it's a good way to distinguish yourself from other people, but not in a good way. You want to distinguish yourself by other things. Okay? Let's go back to a yay. Be helpful. Okay? Be helpful. That's not my job. Don't say that. Now, you want to adhere to your deadlines, be diligent, be punctual, and take care of what you have been assigned and what you have agreed to do or you've been assigned to do. Don't be so rigid that, this is all I can do. That, again, labels you. And to the extent you want to get a label, you want it to be that you're a team player, that you're helpful, that you are aware. And that's really where helpfulness comes in, to be aware. Now, you're not going to be able to have a 30,000 view overview of everything and what's going on, because especially when you're starting out on a little piece of something that usually that's going to be bigger. Now, it just depends. It depends on what kind of a job you have. But to be helpful, and there's a way to be helpful. You see somebody in a jam, if you have time, offer to help them. If you have completed something early, somebody else is struggling for whatever reason, and you are available and you can, and it's okay, help them. If you have an assistant, do your job in an orderly way. Talk about how you're going to communicate on things. That's a way of being helpful, so that everyone saves time, so that you get the results you're looking for. They know what to expect. Managing expectations goes a really long way. So that's a good yay. Nay, being idle. You don't want anybody to come in and wherever you're working and you're looking out into space, you have nothing to do, or not necessarily that you have nothing to do, but that you're doing nothing. What are you doing? You are there to work. So you've either working on something, waiting for something to come back to be revised, for a meeting, whatever. You should be busy. If you have received a bunch of work and things are winding down and you're getting less work, are you not performing as expected or as promised? Is work overall slow? Are you not being efficient? Are you working too far ahead? It doesn't really matter. You don't want to sit around and be idle. You are on somebody else's dime, and you are expected to produce for your pay, either directly or indirectly. If it's a sales organization and you're a support person, then you're there to support the ultimate sales. If the work that you do directly comes in for your pay, then you need to maximize it, not sit around and take a paycheck for doing nothing. So, but being idle could also be that you have accomplished everything. Maybe you're getting better at what you're doing. You're getting more efficient. Great. Let people know. You can take on more. That's a good way to advance. Help in other areas. Is there something else at your employment that you want to learn? Make it known. First, though, make sure that what you're putting out, what your work product is it meets or exceeds what is expected. You may be surprised. Maybe you're idle because you weren't thorough enough on an assignment. If you're getting things back multiple times to redo, there's a reason. You're not being thorough enough at the beginning. And so you need to take care of that. So somebody might be, and I've done this to people, I've adjusted the amount of time that they have to work on something because their prior work was not up to par. I didn't want them rushing through just to try to get a bunch of things accomplished. I wanted quality work. And so I waited and I left the time there, and it's a make or break type of situation. If you have a question, again, ask. But if you're progressing as expected, then make yourself available, help somebody else, work on something, learn something new, do research, work on the next project, but stay busy, okay? Back to a yay. Keep your cool. Well, some people are not cool. I might not be cool, but keep your cool. Keep your good attitude. You are in charge of how you conduct yourself. You are not in charge of anybody else. And if you ever tried to maneuver somebody else or make them behave a certain way, good luck with that. They're in charge of them. You are in charge of how you react, how you respond. Hopefully you are responding, not reacting. And this goes for a whole host of things. When you come into your job, leave your personal life outside. The good stuff and the bad stuff. Daydreaming over the new girl that you just met is not going to help your job and your productivity. You don't know where that situation is going to go. Leave it outside. You may have a very sad situation that has occurred. Somebody close to you is suffering an illness. If it's something that you need to go and be with them, take the time off, make those arrangements, go. Otherwise, come in, you're going to be sad, don't talk about it a lot. Focus on your work. Let that be an island in your storm of sadness, but leave it outside. Likewise, somebody tries to pick a fight with you, or somebody is sometimes there's, good-natured competition, sometimes not so good-natured. Sometimes you just might have somebody who's a jerk. You might have somebody who's having a bad day, taking it out on other people. Just extricate yourself, excuse yourself, leave the situation, don't engage with them, and just go back and keep to yourself. If there's a situation that you need to report, take care of that in another way. Never resort to violence. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in work. Manage your emotions. Keep your cool. You can do it. And then finally, saying I can't. Boy, you should not say this. Now, somebody should not ask you to do anything illegal, against company policy, or something obviously that's going to hurt somebody, but in the course of your job, saying I can't because you feel inexperienced or you're nervous or afraid, get over it. Find a way to help out. Look at it this way. This person, first of all, this person should not be dumping their work onto you from a completely different area. That needs to be addressed. You're not going to say I can't, because there you're going to go to an appropriate person and take care of the situation. Either you're not rated on that particular equipment or something else. There may be a procedure whereby this person needs to have some task reassigned. Follow those procedures. But if you're in a situation where your supervisor or your team leader is assigning work out, this is something you haven't done before, maybe you weren't expecting to do it yourself, it could be a test for you. Succeed in that test. Try it. Ask questions. If you're not sure how to go about it, ask somebody who's done it before. Ask the person who's assigning it. Manage expectations and try it. I had a boss years ago give me an assignment, and I was telling one of my coworkers I was nervous. It was something way out of my comfort zone. It was going to a court proceeding on a matter I wasn't terribly familiar with, but I can read. I got there, and my coworker said, well, you just have to tell them you can't do this. And I was not going to do that, and I knew enough not to do that. So I asked some questions, I got the background information, and what a sense of accomplishment to go in there and it leaps, you leap way ahead. You just do. Somebody has entrusted it with you. You take the bull by the horns, and you put forth the effort, and you can do it. So this is for our first group, yays and nays.